What's up, YouTubers? Alright, so this is a video of the Silverado transmission removal, and we're going to start the video. This is to remove a transmission on a 2005 Silverado, which you can actually do 2003 to 2007, depending on the 2007 model. Alright, so first thing it says is to disconnect the battery cable, the negative battery cable. And then it says to raise the vehicle support on jacks. And then it says to remove the transmission oil pan plug, drain the transmission fluid. Alright, so right now we're just going to disconnect the battery. Alright, so it says to raise the vehicle securely on jacks. My truck has a 6-inch lift, so I don't need to put it on any jacks on here. But when you do jack it up, if you just have a regular, let's say jack it up at any point, let me get a light. I'm gonna edit this anyway. Try to make this one as much as need it. So I would say jack it up right here, and then you can put your jacks on your frame back there. Okay, but like I said, I don't need to jack it up. So next it says to drain the transmission, which you don't need to do that right now, so I'm not going to do that right now. But if your transmission doesn't have a plug on the transmission for you to drain your oil, you're going to have to take all the bolts off, and that sucks because oil gets all over the place. So transmission oil, it freaking stinks. So you're gonna have to have, a pretty big drain pan, or and some rags. All right. So next we're going to see here. I'm gonna do that probably towards the end when I'm ready, because I have the plug there, so pretty easy. Remove all exhaust components. So you're basically not taking off the header. You're taking off the Y pipe that connects to the exhaust manifold. And then I think maybe just the Y pipe, because that's in the way of the transmission. And then so yep, that's what we're gonna do right now. You gotta spray the Y pipes with a rust. Where did I put it at? The WD-40. They make a good rust penetrate. So to spray the Y pipe, I'm going to use this rust release WD-40 spray. It's like $7, $7.99 I think. But it works wonders on releasing rust. It just kind of breaks down the molecular structure of, I guess, rust, so it just breaks off easier. If you don't have access to WD-40 rust release, you can use any type of WD-40, if you don't want to buy the expensive stuff, but it's going to take longer. This, I'm just going to spray it on there, let it sit for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to come and bust them loose and see if they pop. If they don't, then I'll spray it a little bit more. It might give it 20-30 minutes, but depends. But yeah, if you don't have this stuff and you just use regular WD-40, I would spray it and give it a day, and just keep spraying it throughout the day. Get a good soak on it. I did break an extension on my last video, so right now I'm going to go down there and spray the Y pipe bolts. There is 3 bolts. 1, 2, mudding, so there's dirt, debris on there, on the threads. So if you want to clean and make it easier, they should just pop off. I'm going to use an extension and a swivel head, and possibly an extended socket, because those are pretty deep grooves there. And then I'm going to spray this pipe at the end of the white pipe. Spray these too. Spray those also. There's just two here, but there's mud and gunk and all that stuff. Looks like I got a little leak there, rear main seal leak there. I'm gonna buy all new anyways. So fix that. This one looks like it has a lot more clearance than my other one. My other Silverado, my 2004 Silverado had this, I don't know, it just seems like this one's a lot more clear. Okay, so I'm gonna spray those, and I'll get back to you. So I sprayed down with some Dub D. I was pretty liberal with it, a little bit, just spraying it on there, maybe 10 minutes after I sprayed it. Supply there, and then these three on this side, they are sprayed down. Okay, and WD-40 dripped on the ground, so I used the towel that I had in my house to clean up the residue off the ground. They're pretty crappy towels, so, and then I sprayed this one here and there. So I'm just gonna let it soak up a little bit, and I might crack these ones first. It should just come off easy. I mean, it's not, I live in California, so there's not much salt on the ground, but depending, some people said, oh, I use the heat torch, to torch them off there. You don't need that. You just wire brush, soak it in some Dub D, crank that thing off there. Should be good to go. Alright, so I'll let that sit, and I'm gonna have to have a handy towel too for the crap that gets on the ground. My ex left that in my house, so it came in handy pretty good. Alright, so 10 minutes. Okay, so I gave it 10 minutes. It busted loose pretty easily. Let's see, on the passenger side, the bolt is fixed on there, on the muffler, so it shouldn't spin. On the driver's side part, this is what it looks like. So I had to put a socket here, and I wrenched off this part, but it came off a little bit before I had to put the two sockets on there. Alright, so 15 millimeter, the bolt that's sticking out that way that you first see, 15 millimeter, 14 millimeter, 3/8 drive, and also on the other side it's of 15 millimeter. So, alright, so this one that spins, once you already break it loose, this one here is a 14 millimeter. So, okay, now I'm going to do and this is on the rear part of the white pipe. Now I'm going to start doing the front white pipe on both sides. As you can see, there's a lot of dirt here, so I'd recommend you wearing some type of goggles or anything to keep this crap out of your eye, because if you get rust in your eye, God forbid, it won't be good as long as you get it out. But I recommend wearing goggles, and I just started, so I'm not wearing gloves yet, but I do have mechanic gloves, so I'll put those on later. But I'm gonna put on my goggles right now. I don't got my goggles on, but I'm gonna put them on right now. So Okay, front pipe now. So that you're gonna need an extension and a swivel head, and I'll film that. I'll show you guys. All right. What's up, YouTubers? All right, so I busted off the wide pipe bolts already. This is what I use. I think that's like a foot extension right there. I got two 6-inch extensions. Might be a little bit longer, but I mean, this works pretty good here. And then, and so 15 millimeter extended socket and a swivel head, and I sprayed it with the WD-40. I let it sit for 10 minutes, man, and they busted loose like really easily. I mean, barely any effort. It was like they were already loose. So I got them loose now, and as you can see, they're loose. All 6 of them are all loose now. So now I gotta trace back these O2 sensor wires. They should be up in the frame here. I gotta see where they are. I think there's only 2 on this one. No, there's 3. Might be another one hiding somewhere. My other truck, there was 4. This one has 3. So, alright, so I'm gonna find where the wires are connected to the frame back there. And as soon as I find them, I'll videotape it and get it on video for you guys. So, after you crank off your wide pipe bolts, don't take them off all the way, just loosen them. And then you're going to have to disconnect your O2 sensor plugs. You do not have to unscrew them off of the wide pipe, just their little connectors. I'm going to find them and then I'll get back. Alright, so here's one of the plugs. That's what it looks like. It's just bolted onto the frame, just like there. So, I'm going to try to take it off with me holding the camera. So you just pull it off of the frame gently. You don't want to break anything. Stubborn. Damn. It's really on. Alright, I'm gonna get back. I'm just gonna use my hands to take that off, but get back here. Okay, so like I said, I just pulled it off of the frame. Alright, so next thing you do, you see this blue thing right here? Blue thing comes off there. You lift this tab up right here, tab up, and then you pull apart. That's it. Now I gotta find 2 more, and there's the other one right there. So now I just gotta find 1 more, and then I can drop it. The other one looks like it's up in the transmission, like on top of the transmission. So I might not be able to drop the wide pipe, but yet anyways. But I'll get back to you and show you where the last one. This is on the passenger side. 1 there, 1 there, and then on the other side I gotta find out on the driver's side where it is. Okay, so here we are now on the driver's side, towards the rear end. There is the other. So there is 4. There's 4 O2 sensors. There's the other O2 sensor there. Same thing. You just pull that little blue tab and then unsnap them. They're pretty easy to pull apart. So don't pull on the wires. And then there's the other O2 sensor there, which I don't know. The wire is going up top into the transmission up there. So this is on the driver's side. So there is 4. The reason why there's so many is because Silverado made the for the exhaust when you first start your truck up. This works for the so when it's warming up, you're not discharging too much of unburnt fuel into the atmosphere. So that's what the 4 is for. And then the other 2 work off when it's already heated up, and then so the other O2 sensors start working. Alright, so I'm gonna pull out the other 2 on the driver's side now. Alright, so I found the last one. It looked like somebody worked on this prior to me getting to it because it's already disconnected. Or it's not already the blue tab is already out of it. So it looked like it wasn't connected to something up top. This one is the closest one to the exhaust manifold on the driver's side. I didn't pull this off already. It was already pulled off. So, but it does have a tab on there. It looked like that it was connected to some part of the transmission here on the side. So, if you are having trouble getting to this particular one here, you might end up having to skip a couple of parts and take off the four-wheel drive line here, and maybe a couple other components to actually get to it. But I'm pretty sure if you took off this drive line for the 4x4, then it should be easier to get to. Alright, and if you are ready to take off the drive line, like, see, this has a plug here. See, that's the transmission plug. On my other truck, it didn't have one of these. I ended up having to take all of these transmission bolts off, which sucked, and crap got everywhere. It sucked so bad. And you can't get the actual pan off there because this thing is in the way. The shifter cable is in the way here, and the shifter cable bracket was in the way. So I don't even think I ever took this off because that bracket is bolted on to the top. So if you don't have one of these plugs, you're gonna have to undo all of these here and drain it that way. It's the only way to do it. Okay. So I can unplug this now because it's already disconnected. I can get to it. Just pull the blue tab and then lift up the gray connector and pop it out of there. That's what I'm gonna do right now. The last O2 sensor was already disconnected from the fitting. It wasn't disconnected from the actual sensor, it was just fitting. I ended up dropping the Y pipe on the driver's side, and the passenger side's loose over there, but I ended up just loosening up the driver's side, and I dropped the passenger side still bolted on there. I bolted the driver's side, dropped the Y pipe a little bit. Now I have full access to grabbing it, and even if it were connected onto the tab up there, you should be able to you got full clearance of arm to get into there to disconnect the last O2 sensor. All the other ones were easy except for this one. Alright, so I'm taking a little break from the job right now, but so after you remove the Y pipe there, it's going to say to remove the transmission struts if you quit. I don't know why it wants you to remove the struts so early, so I'm just going to leave that on there for now until I'm got my transfer case off. Maybe it's for if you have a 4x4 or not, I'm not sure, but I'm not going to remove the strut transmission mount yet. So it says now to remove the inspection plug at the bottom of the bow housing and mark the relationship with the torque converter. I'm getting a new torque converter, so I'm not worried about that. But if you are putting your same torque converter on there, which I don't see why you would, if your transmission's blown up or if you've taken out your transmission. If your transmission's blown out, you're gonna have to get a new torque converter anyways, because all of the metal that broke off when the transmission broke just shot right into your torque converter. So you're gonna have to get a new one anyways. But you just mark one of the bolt holes to the flywheel, so to the drive plate. So it's you just do that. I'm gonna take a little break and then I'm gonna get back at it. I couldn't get the Y pipe out all the way because I got got a lift kit on my truck, so there's a couple of things that are stopping it. I'll guess I'll show it to you guys, but it should just come right out if you already did the job with the Y pipe. It should come out, but my lift, a couple of the extra added support brackets there are stopping it from coming out, so I had to take out my I had to take a couple torsion bars out, so but it still doesn't come out. So I'm gonna have to wait till I take the cross member out, and then when I take the cross member out, it should come out completely. But I have enough room to do majority of the stuff, so it should be alright. So next, remove the starter, and that's what I'm going to be doing next, removing the starter. And don't forget your Ziploc bags. You're going to need some Ziploc baggies to mark all the parts, the nuts anyways. These are just clear ones. You can get the other ones that you can actually write on them, but Ziploc bags will come in handy in the end. Alright, so what is up, YouTubers? Alright, now I'm taking off the torque converter. You need a 24mm socket to attach on the front crankshaft pulley bolt. Alright, so 24mm socket, deep socket would work better. And it would also work better if you had a friend help you out. When you crank the crankshaft pulley, you want to turn it clockwise, facing the truck. If you're looking at the front of the truck, if you're facing it, you're going to turn it clockwise, and you're going to have a friend help you. He's going to have a 24mm. You're going to have a 24mm socket on a half-inch drive. Torque wrench or something. Anything that would. Because when you're taking off the torque converter bolts back there, it's gonna want to move the crankshaft pulley, so he's gonna have to hold it tight. And I'm pretty sure there's Loctite on there, factory, so I'm thinking somewhere around 120 pounds, possibly. So any way that he can hold it, I had a girl help me last time. So, all right. Gonna take that off. I'm gonna call my friend. He's gonna help me out, and maybe I might make a video. All right. What's up, YouTubers? All right. So here I got the crank. I'm taking off the torque converter. Got some of them greases there. Okay. So the torque converter. This takes a 24mm extended socket. Okay, so that's on a half-inch drive on a torque wrench here. Now it's good to have a friend to help you, and he's gonna spin it so I can get the rest of the show him that one too. So I got the good old torque wrench here that is adjustable, probably about like 2 foot long. So when he's ready to when I'm ready to spin it, so I can get the rest of those 3 bolts on here, and I believe that they are 14mm. Alright, so this is what you need, 24mm stock, unless it was already taken off before, then it's going to be 16mm. And there's the extended socket, 24mm, and the torque wrench here. And then you're going to need one of these so you can spin it. Someone's gonna have to spin it. It's better to have a friend here to help you. It makes it a lot easier. It only takes a little bit. All right, Russian friends. Here we go. All right, so now I got it in here ready. I believe it's 15mm. I'll check right now. I'll check later. 15mm, 3-inch drive, torque converter bolts. There's 3 of them. It's best to have a friend to help you, so you can hold the crank and spin it when you need it. Okay. So this is what I got going on here. I got about 2 foot torque bar that I got connected on my 3H drive on a 15 millimeter socket to get that torque converter bolt off back there. And then I got my friend holding on the 24 millimeter crankshaft bolt to keep it from spinning while I crack this shit loose. And we got a whole pile of Reese's peanut butter cups here. And on top of that, these do have Loctite on there, so you're gonna have to put probably like I think I'm doing like a good 7,500 pounds of torque on there. Alright, and don't forget you have to put Loctite back on these things when you throw that when you throw these bolts back on here. Alright, so I removed hello YouTubers! So I removed the torque converter here, and now it's saying that I gotta mark the yokes to remove the drive shaft, because they're all balanced, so you gotta make sure you mark them, which I got some white out here that I'm gonna mark all the yokes and make sure all the U-joints go back to where they were. I'm gonna check them, might get some new ones, but still you gotta mark the drive shaft, the U joints, and then on the transmission you gotta mark that too for the yoke. So the whole thing needs to be marked. Unless you're getting new U joints, then you don't have to mark the U joints, but you do have to mark the drive line to the transfer case and to the transmission. What's up, YouTubers? Alright, so white out. Okay, now you gotta mark the yoke from here to your U joint down to here. Pretty easy, pretty simple. Just make sure you mark it like that so you know how it goes back on, because it's all balanced. You gotta mark this one. Just mark all of the connections before you take them off. After you take them off, you want to check your U joints. Make sure that they're solid. You know, since you're going this far, I think these are only like 15 bucks, maybe a piece. There's 4 of them, I believe, and just replace them all. You know, since you're gonna take these off anyway, so might as well replace those. And after this, a couple of connections and so on and so forth. Alright, so this is the second location to the transfer case. Okay. So mark this yoke, just like I did that one. See how it's marked? Alright, you're going to mark this one also to the end of the transfer case here. Alright, so this is the 4x4 part. And then we're going to do the transfer case to the differential. Alright, so just mark this one. That one marked. We should be good to go to move on. I marked it. I mean, it's not pretty, but as long as you mark it so you know how to put it back. Okay. Now this is the transfer case to the drive line. And then I'm going to go back there and do the rear yoke to the differential. So I'm draining my transmission now, since I'm getting close, so I'm just draining it out. Now I am taking off the transfer case skid plate here. Next thing, so I already got my yoke, my drive shafts marked. Next thing is the drive shaft. So I'm just taking off the skid plate for the transfer case to get it out of the way so I can get access to the drive shaft.
And here's your transfer case skid plate bag for your screws.
Alright, so ready to take off the drive shaft now for the transfer case of 4x4. It is a 11 millimeter socket on a 3/8 drive. Okay. What's up, YouTubers? Alright, so you're gonna have to take out the U joint to pop. Alright, so what's up, YouTube? So you're gonna have to pop out the actual U joint to get to the to get the drive shaft out. See, I got it right here. There's a snap ring. I used a flathead screwdriver and I just kind of pried it off inches, you know, inch by inch around the circle, and it popped off. Now I gotta do the simple. No steam. I live in California, so there's not too much rust here. So, if you live back east or something, I don't know how rusty it's gonna be. But hit it with the WD-40 and let it soak on there. It should pop off. Alright, so what's up here? So after you snap out the first O-ring, the drive shaft, you shove it back in, and you should be able to take off the other U-joint. So both U-joints are off. You pull the drive shaft back, and you should be able to wiggle it out of there. And then after that, you should pull it off of the transfer case. So there's the drive shaft, got disconnected. And now I just pull it straight off of the transfer case. Nothing should leak out. Alright. Racho. Alright, what's up? So, what I did was, I just unsnapped the one C-ring that was on there on just one side of the U-joint. So just one had to come out, and then I lifted it up that way since I had all that clearance, and the other one I was able to just slide that one out. And here you just slide it off of the transfer case. You just slide it smoothly off the splines, and it came right out. So now I gotta do the transfer case to the axle. Alright, so on the rear of the truck where the drive line is, there's still 11mm bolts, but you cannot fit a socket in there. So you're gonna have to use a ratchet to get to it. Alright, and I just like that and unscrew them. Now, the transmission is in park, so the drive line's not gonna move. So you're just gonna have to wiggle your way around it and do the other side. Okay? What's up, YouTubers? Alright, so on the rear axle, the rear drive line to the axle back there. See the axle? That's the axle. Now all you gotta do is just take off those bolts, and once you get them out, all you gotta do is pull towards the front of the engine. You pull towards the front of the engine, you don't have to take any snap rings off. It pushes the yoke back into the transfer case, and the drive line will just pop right out. Alright, so no snap rings on this one. Just pull towards the front of the engine, and this baby will pop right out. Alright, so now it says to Alright, so now it says to, now we got the drive shaft out of there. So now working on the left side of the transmission, disconnect the shift cable from the transmission. Now you're going to need a pair of these, needle nose with the curved end, and a flathead screwdriver. Alright, so all you got to do is stick a screwdriver in there and take the retaining clip off. You stick it in there, you pull away, and it should just pop right off. Just like that. That's for the retaining clip. See? Pops right off. Take off the shift cable. You just put your socket. Is that a Reese's there?
Yeah.
That looks like one of those special candies. So it just pops right off like that. Alright, so when you pop out the shift cable, all you do is pull it out like that, and it just pops out. Alright, so nothing special there. You just pull towards the back of the truck, and it just pops right out. There, see? So all I did was pull that way, and it unclips. So you just pull it back that way, it unclips, and it should just come right out from that little part there. And that's it for the shift cable. Alright, so now it says to unbolt the neutral switch wire harnesses. This is 1, 2, so 1, 2, and then up, YouTubers? Alright, so I unplugged the neutral safety switch wires here. Alright, so this is all. So there's two that was connected to the neutral safety switch, which were connected to these two ports here. Alright, and then there's this wire harness here. Let me get the light so I can show you guys. I'm almost done now, so I'm moving on to the last parts here. So this harness here was connected to right here. Alright, and that was a 9mm. And then there's one more back here towards the back. Back here, there was this connects the another wire harness to the transmission. I had to unplug this thing also. So, alright, and then there was one plug up here. Not sure what that was to, but I unplugged that thing. And right now you just want to start unplugging and unbolting the transmission and all the wires and everything. If you see a wire unbolted, so far I got two wires here. I got two wires here. I got a bracket here. And I got a bracket there. And then I had another bracket here. These were 15mm, 2 bolts, and then one plug here. So now I am going to work on the right side of the vehicle, the right side of the transmission, remove the heat shield, then unplug the electrical connectors from the transmission solenoid and the vehicle speed sensor, and then disconnect the transmission cooler lines, and then okay. Alright. The passenger side, I am working on the heat shield here. This is 10mm bolts, there's 2 of them. What's up, YouTubers? Alright, so on this one I got a manual shift lever on the transfer case. All they did was stick a small flathead in there, and it came off of the shift lever on the nipple. See that nipple? That's for the 4x4. That is my 3/8 socket up there on the very top part of the it's the very top part of the transfer case. So I just got a 3/8 socket, or a 3/8 ratchet on a 15mm short socket. So that's it right there. You don't have to. That works for me. Alright, my last bolt. Securing the transfer case, and I'm almost ready to drop this thing. What's up, tubers? Alright, I'm gonna drop this transfer case. I got a transmission jack here. Now I believe I unhooked all the cables for the transfer case, so I'm just gonna lower it just a little bit to make sure that there's no extra wires anywhere. Just gonna do it nice and slow. I undid all the bolts. I got one bolt on there for security. I'm gonna jack up the transmission jack, loosen the bolt that I already have on there, and we're gonna lower this puppy down. Alright, so our transfer case is out from the connection, and we're dropping it now. Tubers. Alright, so now I'm just down to the cross member bolts. There's 2 bolts here for the cross member, and there are 2 bolts there for the other side of the cross member. What's up, tubes? I got the transmission jack under the transmission. I got the bolts ready to come out of the cross member. Got 1 bolt safety bolt, and I got another bolt safety bolt. My truck So I supported the transmission on the trans jack, and we're ready to take the cross member out. All I gotta do is take that bolt out and take this bolt out, and this thing should drop straight down. Alright. What's up, YouTubers? So right now we're just working on the battle housing bolts here. I got two here. Do the top part, you're gonna lower it all the way down. You're not gonna, you're gonna use that for a little bit of brace, but you're gonna lower it all the way down. You're gonna have a 2-foot extension, 16 millimeters for all these bolts, 14 millimeters for the oil dipstick. Okay, and you're just gonna lower the transmission all the way down, and then you're gonna get your 2 top bolts off of there, and that's it. You got the tranny out. Yes, sir.